Good morning. This video series is on neuroscience. I knew nothing about neuroscience until a couple years ago when I read this book called The Upward Spiral by Alex Korb. So if you're interested, you can get it on Amazon. And there's also a workbook, which is extremely beneficial, that goes with it. So I don't want this to be a long video, so I'm going to chunk this up into smaller pieces. But basically, neuroscience is all about how our brain works and the chemicals in our brain and how our neurons in our body, we have about 80 billion neurons in our body, how they all work in tandem to control everything we do. So every single thing we do is controlled through the same process in our brain, through our neurotransmitters and our brain chemistry. And it sounds really complicated. It's really not. In fact, this year at Beatty, I went through in 6th and 8th grade students, I went through in classes this book and concepts of this book to help them understand how their brain works, and then gave them concrete suggestions on how to cope with some things. Unfortunately, because of COVID, I think I had a 5-lesson series planned, and I only got 3 in, but still, 3 is better than none. And hopefully I'll repeat it next year if we're back in the school building. But really quick, it's important to understand the difference between anxiety and depression. So I drew this very simple little piece of paper. Anxiety can cause depression, and also depression can cause anxiety. Oftentimes these are interchanged. People use them interchangeably all the time, and they are, can be, I should say, interwoven together intricately. So that's the whole point of the book I showed you, the downward spiral. Just little things over time puts us down into this downward spiral of feeling like depressed, and then we feel depressed, then we feel anxious, and because we feel anxious, we feel depressed, hence the spiral. Later in another video, I will try to get into some of the concepts that's important to understand about our brain, some specific areas in our brain that are meaningful to this discussion, and go through some of our neurotransmitters. Again, it sounds complicated. It's not. Our 6th and 8th graders understood it pretty well when I explained this all to them. So it's not as complicated as it sounds. So that's just kind of a really brief introduction to this video series. However, I do want to leave you with one tool that is important. And it's a simple thing, but it's important. So, and that is the concept of gratitude. Gratitude is appreciating all the things that we have. We as humans tend to get focused on what we don't have. Like, if only I was stronger, if only I was more attractive, if only I didn't weigh so much, if only my kids behaved better. I mean, the list is endless. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So, but all those things contribute to the spiral of our depression and our anxiety. All those thoughts that we have, it contributes to that. So to fight that, back against that, is the concept of gratitude. So, a gratitude journal, however you wish to do it, you can do it on your phone. I would highly recommend to do it on paper. You can just write things down on paper. So, a gratitude journal every day. Simply write 2 things that you're grateful for in your gratitude journal. Just 2. And every day it will take you less than like 2 minutes. I guess it depends how much you write, but you don't really have to write a lot. Just 2 things that you're grateful for. And the important thing is a repetition. Every day you do the same thing. 2 things that you're grateful for. And the beauty of it is you don't have to come up with a different list of 2 things every day. You can repeat the same 2 things from the previous day. It forces your brain to think differently in that time in the things that you're grateful for versus the things that you don't have. It's a very simple concept, gratitude journal. One more tip that I just thought of on my mind that would be beneficial along these lines is happy memories right before you go to sleep. Now, happy memories, and I'm probably going to mention this in another video, but I'm going to mention it now since I said it's on my mind. This is the point when you're in bed, eyes closed, trying to fall asleep. This is when you do this technique. You think of something very specific, of a happy memory that you have. It doesn't matter what the happy memory is. And just like the gratitude, it could be the same memory from one night to the next. So you don't have to come up with different ones. You can, but you don't have to. Happy memories right before bedtime. So you think of the happiest memory when you're laying in bed, eyes closed, trying to go to sleep. The key is you have to focus on that memory in as much vivid detail as possible. Who was there? Do you remember any kind of smells? What were you wearing? What were other people wearing? What was the environment like? Was it raining? Was it sunny? As much vivid detail as possible is important because that vivid detail activates things in your brain, your memory centers and things like that, which then get your neurotransmitters moving. A happy memory right before you fall asleep, research has been linked, that increases your serotonin while you're sleeping. And your serotonin is one of the neurotransmitters we'll talk about in this series that helps boost your mood. So, you think of a happy memory, again, repetition is important every day, every night, and as much detail as possible. And then, while you're sleeping, your body is producing more serotonin to improve your mood. So when you wake up, you're generally in a better mood. See? So happy memory right before bedtime. That is all courtesy of this book here by Dr. Korb. So that's all I got today. A bit long-winded. So have a good day.